welcome to Dose of Wonder. I'm Caitlin, your guide on this journey through mindfulness, mental health, grief, and personal growth. Each episode will dive into honest explorations and gentle reflections to help you find moments of calm, clarity, and a little bit of wonder too. So grab your favorite cozy spot, take a deep breath, and let's get started. So let's talk about something that's been on my mind lately. This idea that you need to be social to be healthy. You've heard it, right? That constant message, be social, build your network, have close friends, or else your health will suffer. It's almost treated like gospel. But what if you're just wired differently? What if being alone isn't the problem, but the fuel that keeps you grounded and happy? That's what today's episode is all about. The internal world of a genuinely satisfied introvert. Someone that finds peace in quiet, depth in solitude, and connection not through crowds, but through calm, intentional living. And that someone is me. I'm an introvert. I prefer to be by myself, or with my husband. I don't have many friends, and honestly, I'm totally fine with that. The people I do consider friends are more like acquaintances. We mostly interact online, and maybe meet up once or twice a year. That suits me just fine. I've never been the party type. I like one-on-one time. Coffee and a chat, brunch, a walk, or maybe a visit to a Christmas market. A couple of hours of connection, and then my social battery is tapped out. After that, home is where I recharge, and that's where I'm happiest. Take today, for example. My husband is at work, which is rare, and I have the whole house to myself. I have to walk the dog, but beyond that I have no plans, nothing demanding my attention. So what do? I write, I read, I drink too much coffee. Right now I'm reading An Ocean of Minutes by Thea Lim, a time travel story about a flu pandemic, written back in 2018, and The Intelligence Trap by David Robson, which explores why smart people make dumb mistakes. It's that kind of deep internal curiosity that fills my time. It's quiet but not empty. Intentional space but not boredom. The TV's off, which I love, because my husband usually has it running from sunrise to bedtime. And the house is silent except for the hum of the fridge and the tick of the clock. I did yoga and meditation first thing this morning, and I'm on my second cup of coffee. And honestly, I couldn't ask for more. But here's the thing that unsettles me sometimes. All those studies saying people who have close friends live longer. And when I read that, I can't help but think, wait, what? What if I don't want friends? What if I'm completely content being my introverted self? Does that mean I'm destined to die sooner just because I don't go to parties? It feels unfair. Like there's this hidden rule book that says extroversion equals health and introversion equals risk. And when you hear that enough times, it gets under your skin. It makes you feel guilty for just being who you are. Like you should force yourself to make friends not because you want to, but because you're afraid not to. And that guilt is kind of exhausting. This is the paradox that so many introverts face. You build a life that feels right for you, calm, balanced, deeply satisfying, and then some health headline tells you it's wrong. That happiness you've carefully cultivated starts to feel like a flaw. It's not that I don't understand the science, that loneliness can absolutely harm people, especially when it's unwanted, but that's not the same thing as chosen solitude. What I have isn't loneliness, it's alignment, it's quiet contentment. And the biggest proof of that came during the pandemic. When the world shut down and everyone was suddenly forced into isolation, my husband and I, both introverts, barely noticed the change. Our routines stayed the same. We still went for walks with our dog, grabbed coffee, spent time at home. Of course, there was the wider heartbreak. Masks, distancing, the fear and grief everywhere. But personally, our rhythm held steady. We used to joke that our rescue dog, Penny, was our pandemic dog. We adopted her in November 2019, just before everything went sideways. She was this scrappy little street dog from Mexico with a heart of gold, and she was a lifesaver. Walking her gave us a reason to get outside, to breathe, to touch something normal when everything else felt so fragile. She kept my anxiety at a low, manageable hum. She was connection, but without the noise. We lost her to cancer in December of 2021, and that was devastating. But I'll always think of her as the gentle force that carried us through those strange years. That whole experience made something really clear to me, that isolation and solitude are not the same thing. Isolation is when you can't connect, even when you want to. Solitude is when you choose to step back, not out of avoidance, but because that's where you feel whole. My solitude is peaceful, restorative, productive even. Right now I'm sitting here home alone recording this podcast. I think the problem is we've blurred those lines. We treat all alone time as dangerous, when for some people it's medicine. So maybe it's time we redefine what connection means. Maybe health isn't about how many people you know, but how well you know yourself. Maybe it's about being selective, choosing relationships that energize you instead of drain you, even if that means there are only a handful of them. And maybe the healthiest thing you can do is to stop feeling guilty for not being someone else's version of social. Because that guilt, that pressure to be more extroverted, to force connection you don't crave, might be more harmful to your health than the quiet itself. So that's where I've landed lately. Being introverted doesn't mean being lonely. It means being deliberate. I find my joy in quiet spaces, in a good book, in a long walk, a nice run, a calm morning coffee, and the soft hum of peace that comes with knowing I'm exactly where I want to be. And I think that deserves to count as a healthy life too. So, how about you? Are you an introvert too? What do you love most about living the introvert life? I genuinely love to hear. Thanks for listening today. And remember, whether your world is loud or quiet, shared or solitary, it's yours, and that's enough. And that's it for this week's podcast. Thanks for listening. Next week I'll be getting into a life musing about a reminder that you are enough just as you are. Until then, don't forget to live with a dose of wonder.
In the stillness we begin, with stories stitched in softer skin. A spark, a sigh, a breath, a bend, a dose of wonder.